Hi, I'm Chuck Colson with this week's 2-minute warning. These are times that try men's souls. At least mine is being tried. That's because at the very moment when the lines are being drawn for a decisive battle of the culture wars, the church seems unprepared to fight. As you know, a federal judge has ruled that same-sex marriage is a constitutional right. The case will make its way to the Supreme Court. As I said last week on the 2-minute warning, this is a cultural Armageddon, a defining moment in the culture wars. If we lose this, our religious liberties will be greatly imperiled. And at a moment such as this, leading voices within the church are calling for Christians to retreat from the public square, take a vacation from politics, head back to the pews for a few more praise choruses. They're telling us that only the elites, only major cultural institutions can change the culture. Folks, this is patently false. The history of Christianity proves that it is false. The ancient pagan world of Rome and Greece was transformed by ordinary Christians living out their faith in love, tending the sick, rescuing abandoned babies, valuing the dignity of women and slaves. The end of slavery in Britain and America wasn't brought about by powerful institutions. Those institutions wanted to preserve slavery. And anyone who thinks it was the elites who won the battle of civil rights in the 1960s is just plain deluded. Now, I said last week that our big opportunity to save traditional marriage is to raise a public outcry to show the Supreme Court that the American people do not support same-sex marriage. The justices read the papers, and recent history shows they won't rule against a strong public consensus. I remember back in 1997 the powerful image of handicapped individuals carrying "I'm not dead yet" signs outside the Supreme Court when the court was deciding whether assisted suicide was a constitutional right. Going with the public mood, the court voted 9-0 that assisted suicide was not a right. Are we, the church, ready to camp outside the Supreme Court in defense of marriage? Are we willing as individuals to write letters to the editor, to speak at civic organizations, to do whatever we can? We've got to build a powerful public outcry. We must, however, start on our knees, seeking God's intervention. That's why I'm involved in the Pray and Act campaign coming up this fall. We're calling on the church to 40 days of prayer and fasting to defend life, religious liberty, and traditional marriage. You can get involved. Find out by clicking on the link we've provided at thecolsoncenter.org. Next, we need to let the politicians know what we think, especially the Republicans. Yes, that's right. For too long, they've taken conservative evangelicals and Catholics for granted. And some are doing their best to keep moral and social issues on the back burner this year, believing the key to victory is the economy. You tell them they're full of prunes. Our consciences cannot sit on the back burner. And then get your pastor to preach on the importance of traditional marriage. Light a fire under him. Get your church mobilized. Go sign as well the Manhattan Declaration in defense of life, liberty, and marriage. And get your friends and family, all of your contacts, everybody you know, get them to sign it as well. We need 1 million signatures. We're not going to sit on the sidelines. Roe versus Wade caught us sleeping more than 30 years ago. How many millions have perished since then? Folks, I won't let the church be caught sleeping again. Let's get our placards ready. I will be praying and fasting for marriage. And I will hit the streets. I'll be at the public rallies, and I want to see you and your church there as well. I'm Chuck Colson. That's this week's 2-minute warning.